Gentlemen, start your engine.
Oh yeah, Daytona USA. As most of you know, NASCAR isn't exactly the most enthralling sport. Oh, I'm sure there are a couple of you out there who will say, Chris, stop being so ignorant. Do you know how much time and practice it takes for a driver to get out on the track and do what they do? Well, that may be true, but when the end result is this, the benefit doesn't seem to outweigh the effort. Back in the early 90s, somebody at Sega must have thought the same thing because they released Daytona USA into the arcades.
Select a race course. Advanced.
While a game shares the same name as a popular NASCAR event, you've probably noticed that it has little to do with NASCAR. You don't race for 200 laps, you can crash and not have to be taken out of the race, and most importantly, you can turn right? Oh my god, what blasphemy is this? While today you could get a perfect port of the arcade version on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, getting an exact port of an arcade back in the day would pretty much mean dragging the arcade cabinet into your house. Luckily though, the game was ported over to the Sega Saturn, so you can still get your fill of mid-90s polygons at their finest. Yeah, the graphics aren't the greatest, but for a 3D console game that was released in 1995, it still looks pretty decent. However, there are some things that certainly don't hold up. The draw distance is really weak. Texture pop-up is extremely noticeable. This was a launch title for the Saturn, and it certainly shows. However, it's not always graphics that make the game, as you get a great sense of speed from your car. In racing games, speed is obviously key, and Sega pretty much nailed it. I wanna fly sky high, let's go together. The first two tracks the game provides are a blast, but the third, not so much. The track only has 2 laps, but because the stage is so big and there are about 30 cars racing with you, the frame rate becomes an issue. For the most part, the controls are pretty solid, but they can be a little too tight. That's what he said! Mike, get out of my review! When making a tight corner, it can be hard to get around without crashing your car. I can appreciate them trying to make the game more exciting by adding the ability to crash, but the addition comes off as unnecessary because after your car crashes, it's a lot more difficult to control it. You can go to a pit stop in order to fix it, but the stop takes so long that the race is practically over by the time it's done.
You placed
28.
Overall, despite its faults, Daytona USA is a very solid arcade racer. I was able to pick up a copy online for $5, and if you own a Sega Saturn or are able to snag a copy of the arcade game, I highly recommend it. On the boneless scale, I give Daytona USA 4 left turns out of 7.5 glasses of water.